I want to take a few minutes and talk about paragraphing. And this is going to be review for most of you, but I think it's always helpful to remember what makes a good paragraph. Now, how do you feel when you get to a page that you're reading and you don't see any paragraph breaks? Or you don't see very many paragraph breaks? Do you go, because it feels overwhelming? That's what happens to almost every reader. So what is a paragraph for? A paragraph is something that helps chunk information for a reader so that you can take it one idea at a time and not feel so overwhelmed that you have to take too much information at once. That's why each paragraph has one job, to express one focused idea. This main idea should be expressed at the beginning of the paragraph in the form of a topic sentence. So what are the elements of a strong paragraph? Well, a strong paragraph begins with a clear topic sentence, one clear, focused idea. The writer might clarify or explain that idea if necessary. Then the writer should add support for the idea, that main idea. Some ideas for support could be specific examples. You might provide data or conclusions from experts, and you might provide your own logic to explain why your topic sentence makes sense. Lastly, the paragraph can end by restating the topic sentence and pointing out why it matters. Now, this is a really handy formula for paragraph writing, but I don't want you to think that all paragraphs have to follow this formula exactly. However, I think it's a good place to begin. Here's an example of a strong paragraph. I want you to look at how the paragraph begins with a clear topic sentence, how the writer gives us some examples to illustrate and develop that idea, and how the writer restates the main idea at the end. This paragraph is about smartphones. So let's begin. Smartphones provide a constant accessibility to video games that become a terrible distraction to most people. Those who carry smartphones can download hundreds of free apps within minutes, loading their phones with fun. Many of these apps are addictive. Games such as Candy Crush and Hay Day can keep you sucked in for minutes or even hours. Such games are not amazingly made, they are amazingly accessible. And therein lies the problem. If one could choose to play a quick game while waiting in line, why not? If one can play a few rounds of Spider Solitaire instead of talking to strangers in a classroom, why not? The problem is that when gaming is so accessible, it begins to distract us from social interaction, leading to greater loneliness and isolation. One common problem with paragraph writing, or that I encounter as I read, is that people might put too many ideas into their paragraph. This is very confusing because when I'm reading a paragraph with too many ideas, I just feel overwhelmed and I'm not sure what it is I'm supposed to be paying attention to. Don't give your paragraph too many jobs. This will overwhelm your reader. Here's an example of an unfocused paragraph. There are just too many ideas in this paragraph. Let me read it, and I want you to think about what you think the main idea is. Teslas are electric cars that are expensive. They were developed by Elon Musk as a way of making electric cars cool. Electric cars are more important than ever because they create less pollution. However, since most electricity comes from the burning of fossil fuels, even electric cars are bad for the environment. Elon Musk is also working on building rockets and maybe even a Hyperloop tunnel. His company, SpaceX, is going to be the first private company to send people into space. He is also afraid of robots taking over the world. He argues that we need to be incredibly careful with how we develop artificial intelligence. Okay, so I find that this is an interesting paragraph. There's a lot of interesting ideas that make me think, but I just can't figure out what the main idea is. I mean, are we supposed to think about electric cars and how they might still create pollution? Are we supposed to think about Elon Musk and his company and the things he's developing? Or are we supposed to think about robots taking over the world? I'm just not sure. Every paragraph needs just one purpose. So, When you are writing and revising your paragraph, think about what do you want your reader to know? What is that main idea that you're trying to convey? Why are you presenting this paragraph? Is your purpose clear? Summary is one potential purpose of a paragraph, and that is where we're going next.